IX InsticWalker, Book 6, Lily and Angelina, made by Natural SFM Studios. Inside the Invasinator Tower, a skyscraper like no other was built inside purified city tech and made its money's worth to be over $3 billion. And many say a tower this huge can fit over 238,745 people. A grin showed on his face as he walks past the television store. He jumps up very fast and sees the Invasinator structure. He then pulls out a large blade and aims it at the tower. "Hakai, Suru," he said, as his blade makes a loud noise. He throws the blade, and the sonic wave destroys the building, making it collapse. He fades away and leaves, never to be seen again. Zero plays video games on his phone, as Unknown looks at Zero, annoyed. "In all honesty, how could you play such a game that's not even worth the time?" Unknown said to Zero, not paying attention. Zero pauses the game and turns around to Unknown. "You're not wrong, but because video games are supposed to be only for your spare time, and it's not meant to be a 24/7 thing. And I'm very bored," Zero said, trying to concentrate on the game. "You're right. Without Natural, it's not the same. I still can't believe he left us to watch over the house for him," Unknown said, thinking as he heard a voice. "Sorry if I got home late. I went to the store and bought sushi and beverages if you're hungry," Silver said as Zero got up excited. "Sushi! I'm all for it!" Zero yelled as Unknown spoke softly. "Damn, get a room," Unknown said, frowning as Natural walks inside the house. "Natural, what are you still doing here?" Unknown said, as Natural quickly hid himself behind a lamp. "You do know we can still see you, Natural," Silver said as Natural nervously laughs. Yeah, I have a lot of explaining to do, don't I?" Natural said, nervous. They all nod their head. "Natural, you need to find a job. They already given us an eviction notice if you don't pay $34,000, Unknown shouted, as Natural covered his ears and shouted back. "Do you even know how hard it is to get a job?" "Ah, it's stupid." Natural crossed his arms. "Fine, then how about this?" Natural snaps his fingers. "There, it's been paid for. Simple as that," Natural said as he walks up stairs to his room. "I feel trouted every time I think. I feel like my mind isn't listening to me. I feel very insecure about myself. I'm a creator, not a person who argues back for things of things. If only someone was here to help me, maybe I could figure out a way to sustain myself again." Natural wrote in his journal. Unknown knocked on the door and opened it. "Natural, there's something I gotta tell you." Unknown closed the door as Natural looked at him. "What do you want to tell me?" Natural said, listening, waiting for Unknown's words. "Natural, watch out!" Unknown pulled Natural to the side as a sonic wave hit directly towards the house as it damages parts of the floor above. Natural's room began to collapse, and Natural, almost falling, with the floor as Unknown caught him by his hand and pulled him up. What the hell? What kind of sonic wave was that? Unknown looked around as Natural pulled him back. Careful, Natural looked down as Unknown looked at him. I'll be fine, Unknown said as Natural seized the new tower, collapsing as smoke of clouds can be seen from a distance as a loud explosion was hit through the tower. His eyes widened. No! Purified Seed Tech is under attack. Natural reaches his arms out and tries to keep the tower from collapsing from a distance and tries to pull it up. I won't let more people die. In my world. I won't let that happen again. Natural uses his narration power and saves the tower from collapsing. Every story has to have rules, but I make my own. I'm in control over what I desire, Natural said as he falls down weakened by his own powers. Unknown? Natural, are you guys alright? Silver said, worried as a man dressed in black with a white hat and a blade was hiding in the woods, watching. Unknown seen him as he quickly jumped off Natural's room and did a somersault onto the ground and pulled out his sword, sprinting as Natural yelled, Unknown! Natural said, trying to get up. Natural stumbles as Silver kicked the door with her foot. Natural! Silver said as she grabbed Zero. Get Natural out of here. Take the keys to my car and take him out of here now. I'll go after Unknown, Silver said as Zero grabbed Natural and they went downstairs. Wait, I can't leave Simba by himself. Ever since we were trapped in that mansion, Natural said as Zero grabbed the cat and put Natural in the back of the car. Zero got into the car and drove off. Unknown sees the man and strikes preferably at him. Unknown sees the glare from the man's eyes, but there were no eyes from him, as it looked like a scarecrow with stitches and stitched up eyes that made an X with a large blade behind him. Back. It spoke. Kono, Michino, Ome. It said, a rusty voice, as Unknown spoke. What kind of language? Unknown seen the man pull out a large blade and aimed it at Unknown. His eyes widened and prepared for him to strike. The man spoke in a solid voice. Okay, sitter, he said, and a sonic wave struck from the blade. Unknown swerves his sword and tries to deflect the sonic wave, but he was tackled by Silver. Silver! No! What are you doing? Unknown yelled in a Jurassic voice. The sonic wave passes Unknown and Silver. It hits the house and it blows up. Unknown's eyes widened. He grunts and gets up and sprints at the man. You bastard! Unknown yelled furious as he uses fast teleport and punches the man with a fire fist. The man was able to keep up with Unknown's speed and caught Unknown's fist and grabbed his wrist and pushed it against Unknown's chest and threw Unknown onto the ground. As Silver ran to Unknown, That's it. I'm tired of being blamed for all of this, Silver said, angry as she walks toward the man. Silver, don't do it. Unknown tries to get up. The man tries to use a thermal virus and... Zero said, trying to be spooky. Okay, we're done here. Where does Neely, Roxy, and Netro Wait, don't forget about Static, Roxy said. Oh, and Static come into play, Natural said, as they all chat in the living room. I don't know. They all died. Zero smiles, as Natural and Roxy get a little annoyed by that question, or answer. And wait, since when was I the boss of Natural? Unknown scratches his head. And Zero, why are you telling the story? Neely said with his hand raised. I thought you guys loved my stories. Zero crossed his arms. The story was okay. It was awesome. It just needs more work, Natural said. Now, let's begin our real chapter and a new adventure, Natural said, smiling. Chapter 1. Real World. All right. Good night, everyone, Natural said as he shuts his door. Natural lays down on his bed, trying to get some sleep. An hour later, Natural opened his eyes and he sees a light. It was a world that was realistic, a realm with a feature of a different graphic than his own that was created by someone else. He walks through a parking lot and looks around. There was a house that seemed to be an apartment complex. Something hit him through his brain like a vibe, and he began trying to remember what this place was and why it looked so familiar. Cars in the parking lot and an apartment next to the parking lot. Natural remembers, and he runs further up the sidewalk and makes his way up to the last apartment. 212. That's where I live. In the real world. Did I somehow cross through this realm by mistake? Natural walks, about to go up the steps, but he sees a book and picks it up. He takes a good look at the book, and it had a black color with a Scrotris symbol on it, and a title called Static Void InsticWalker, and a Japanese version written on it. He walks upstairs and opens the door and closes it. He turns on the light, puts the book on the table, sits down and opens the book. His eyes widened. It's letters that I said in my journal. What the heck is it doing in this book? Natural said, fascinated, as he flips the page. Shadows of evil. Silence wake. This is all of the chapters. Natural began to be aware of the fact that this was not a dream. It was a real realm. As Natural flipped the page, a face symbol with stitched up eyes that made an X and a stitched up mouth with a Japanese title, Hakai Suru. Natural couldn't see as static began to blur his vision and everything began to be color edged. He woke up and it was already morning. He pulls himself up, stretching as he began to feel something like a book or a binder with plastic wrap around it. What is that? Natural waits for his eyes to focus, and he freaked and he fell off the bed. The book was on his bed. What the hell? Natural yelled with his eyes widened. Wait, so a dream gave you a book from the real world, Static said as he looks at the book fascinated. Yeah, it was weird. This dream showed me the real world, a third realm of reality, with it being a real universe, Natural stated as he spoke, or as Static spoke, his point of view. But that's impossible. You can't cross through another dimension and be able to cross back. That breaks laws of physics, and you're only the creator of the universe, not the center of it all. So how could it possibly be? Static said, and started to think as Natural opened his book, or opened the book. It's what I'm trying to figure out. Remember what Parallel Fang said when we were learning about realms in parallel physics? Natural said, as Static shook his head. He said that a realm is not a dimension, and a dimension is not a universe, and a universe is not a multiverse, and a multimension is not parallel, and are different from each other, not until they collide and form up amazing work. A third dimension, or a 3D realm, or perhaps it's called a third dimension universe, dimensional universe, and some say it is a work of reality. 3D stands for third dimension, and if we were living in a fourth dimension, dodging a bullet like the Matrix would be a reality, Natural said, as Static blinding the fact that Natural had knew the answer and was hiding something. So what realm is this one? Static asked, as Natural thought for a second, and snapped his fingers and thought of the answer. I could be wrong, but this realm could actually be a fantasy realm where dreams from creators like myself exist. Most creators won't try to make a story like this one, but they could, but they won't. Well, by that I mean it being something else, like having their own self being put in their own story that they made up, because it will mess up the plot of a story or something like that. But me, I know what I'm doing. I'm very aware, Natural said as he flips the page and sees numbers written on it. Natural quickly examines the numbers with his hand as Static looks at Natural. Were these numbers here before? Static said as Natural walks past them, then turns back to see what Natural and Static are up to. I don't remember seeing these numbers, perhaps. Memory loss? Not remembering a dream is part of what a dream is. Some people don't recall seeing the things they saw, which is normal, I guess. Unknown Natural said as he turns to Netro. Hey, Netro, since you're here, you don't mind the craziest thing I'm about to tell you, right? Natural said cautiously as he clucked his left eyebrow up, smiling as Netro gave a weird look with no interest. He thought for a moment, then spoke. Alright, fine. What is the most craziest thing you could possibly show, other than having the skill to narrate such logics? Natural said jokingly. Natural pulled out a black book as Natural gave a irritated expression. A black binder? Are you serious? Natural said as he looked closely, and it had a Scrotris symbol on front and back. The back one had a symbol that was from Scrotris' chest, and the front was a drawing from Natural. Natural then looked at Natural suspiciously. "Do you have an affair with Scrotris or something?" Natural said as Natural freaks out and throws the binder. "Oh, what? God, no! To my own demon friend? As well as my own creator? No, thank you." "Ugh!" Natural yelled as Daddy covered his mouth, trying not to laugh as Natural spoke. I'm kidding. You should have seen the look on your face." Natural laughed as Natural picked up the binder back up and slammed it on the table. "This is seriously the most weird book or binder that I've ever seen," Natural said, fascinated. "It tells us where we've been, and drawings of us too. Where the hell did you guys find this from?" Natural said, as trying to figure it out. "We didn't find it. Or at least, Natural didn't. This book came from Natural's dream, which if preferably came from a 3D realm, then it's safe to say that it came from the real world," Static said as Natural got the answer. "Natural, I remember you telling me something like that when we were trapped in that mansion. Maybe your real self gave it to you," Natural said as he flips the page and sees a drawing and a name that says Hakai. "Hakai? What does that mean?" Natural asked. "It means destroy in Japanese. What a distinctive name to use for a character," Static said in an evil voice. Chapter 2. For woke, one spoke. Feels the wind, the fresh air that allows you to breathe in and out from your lungs. Eyes closed, meditating as the wind blows. I'm strong. I'm stealthy. I'm composed. And still, I'm not able to show the skills that I know. It's the narrator's fault for making me look weak. I'm not a sword striker. I'm an ultimate master with devotion that is willing to sacrifice to save others. My description shows it that way, way before it put me in this story," Unknown said, angry, as he opened his eyes and realized it was dark. "Huh? Oh shoot! What time is it?" Unknown said, as he thought for a moment. "An ultimate master, huh? I'm an ultimate master. But being a sword striker's more equivalent," Unknown said to himself. Unknown arrived at Natural's house and came through the door. He sees Natural and Static looking at a black binder. Okay. See you later, everyone. Remember, you're part of our team, so make sure you stop by once in a while, okay? Bye," Silver said and hung up. Unknown sees Roxy and Calabasa playing tic-tac-toe. "What's this? A quest I have to walk by to?" Unknown said as his eyes widened as he felt a strange presence nearby him and he heard a whisper. "She's alive. She's alive. She's alive," the whisper said as Silver softly tapped Unknown. He jumped a little as he speaks. "She's alive," Unknown said, slowly trying to figure out what the whisper meant. "Unknown, are you okay? Listen to me," Silver said as Unknown stared blankly. Natural quickly got up and walked over to Unknown. "Creator of my story, narration combine, and find what is interacting with Unknown. Break the strings attached, make a rift, and pull the person to this side, Natural said, and uses a summon technique to bring an invisible person to the other side. What's going on? Unknown! Silver sees a girl as they cross through. The girl wasn't able to catch herself. Watch out! The girl falls down as Natural realized it was a girl. Unknown looked around confused. What's going on? Unknown said as Silver's eyes widened. It's a girl. Let me help you, Silver said as she helps her up. She's alive, she said as Natural's eyes widened. Alive? Who's alive? We would like to know what you're talking about, Natural said as she looks at Natural, afraid to speak. It's okay. Don't be afraid. My name is Natural. I'm here to help you. Calabasa, get a blanket, and Static. Turn on the heater, Natural said as Calabasa gave Silver a nice coat and she put it over Angelina. Do you guys have anything to drink? I'm very thirsty, she said, stuttering her words. I'll go make some tea, okay? Silver said as she gets up and heads straight to the kitchen as she calls Natural and he goes over there to the kitchen. This needs to stop. We didn't even know you could do that. And she must be traumatized or something, Natural said to Natural. There was nothing else for me to do. And I have used narration powers like that before. And she's fine. There was no brain damage from that crossover, Natural said clearly. That was a summon technique that you just did. That was no narration power. That was a summoned sacred artifact. So why would a creator like you use that sort of power? Silver said, figuring out Natural as he rolled his eyes. That wasn't a summoning move. It's something else. It's a dimensional sacred artifact that I can break. The invisible wall. Something that we can't see. I wasn't hiding anything. The only person that is hiding something is that girl, Natural said as he heard the teapot whistle, and Silver quickly turned off the stove. I kinda have my doubts on her too. Why was she inside Unknown's mind? It's very weird. Let's find out together. Silver winked at Natural. Detective Natural, at your service, Natural said, smiling. So, tell us again, what were you doing inside Unknown's mind? Silver said, as Static showed her the binder. Do you have anything to do with this binder? Static said, and gave it to her. Silver noticed the binder and whispered to Natural. What is that creepy-looking binder that Static just gave her? Silver said silently. That binder somehow came from the real world. From my dream, Natural said as Angelina spoke. My name is Angelina. I'm from a different dimension. When I met this girl named Lily, me and her were friends when she lost her son. Angelina said as Natural thought, then his eyes widened. What was his name? Natural said as she spoke. The boy's name. What? Angelina was interrupted by Neely. Unknown. The boy's name was unknown. Neely spoke out with anger as Natural turned around and seen Neely. How do you know about my mother? She never had a friend named Angelina. 'Cause I was there, and I always stood by her side. Neely said, furious, as Unknown finally gained consciousness and was able to see what was going on. Natural! She's evil! Strike at her now! Unknown yelled, as Natural looked back and seen a flash as she was trying to take over Natural's body. What's happening? Natural gets angry and tries to fight her. Natural, fight her. You're stronger than her. Silver cried out. Natural! Silver yelled. Unknown, you know what to do. You're different from the others. For a reason. Stop her. Natural said, and Angelina uses an arc blast, and Natural disintegrated. Chapter 3. Lost, but still strong. So much for your weak friend. Who's gonna save all of you now? Angelina said, as she blows up the house, leaving a huge damage behind. Unknown slowly opened his eyes and sees the fire slowly building up and collapsed. Unknown seen Scrotris' poster that Natural made. Unknown tried to grab it, but it flew right into the fire. Damn it. Come on. I have to get out of here. Unknown screamed as blood slowly slithered down Unknown's forehead. As Unknown looked down and see Natural's cat barely breathing, he quickly lifts up a burning wall and picks the cat up and tries to find a way out. I'm gonna get all of you out of here. All of you out of here. I promise. Unknown said, and tries to find the door. Unknown couldn't breathe. As he stumbles to walk, the smoke, it's too much. Unknown starts coughing roughly as he falls down. No, I won't die here. Not here. Unknown yelled as he felt like closing his eyes. Unknown heard a pound, and Virilin broke through the wall roughly as Unknown's eyes widened. What the hell? Who's that? Unknown said, as Virilin picked up Unknown and took him out of the burning house, as Unknown felt the air as Virilin worried. Are you okay? Here, drink some water. Are they still in there? Virilin yelled as Virilin repeated, Are they still in there? Virilin yelled as Unknown spoke, Yes. Yes, they're still in there. Unknown said, coughing still, holding the cat. He checked the cat's heart, and there was no heartbeat from the cat. Unknown hugged the cat. Try not to cry. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, Unknown said, putting the cat down as Virilin yelled out. Unknown, I need your help, now, Virilin said as Unknown went back in there. An hour later, Virilin iced the house, and the flaming stopped. Natural hugged his sister, comforting her. It's fine. You're okay, Natural said as Zero walked to Unknown as Silver walked to Zero. Unknown's been... Natural's cat suffocated from the smoke. Can you see if you can heal him?
Unknown's been holding it all day,
Silver said as Zero closed his eyes and spread a healing wave, and everyone got healed, as well as the cat. Neely hugged Zero. I'm so glad that we have you, Neely said as Unknown smiled. Thank you, Zero, Unknown said as Zero noticed Natural's scarf.
Unknown? I thought Natural's scarf got destroyed from Akuyama's spear,
Zero said as Unknown smiled. Nope, not at all. Parts of it got ripped though, Unknown said as he pulled out his sword.
What do we do now?
Silver said as Unknown looked up. Static, you're the only one that has part of Natural's universe, and he unbanned you, so what's your plan? Unknown looked at Static, and he freaked. This was Natural's plan, wasn't it? Static said, scared as Unknown remembered Zero's story. Zero, remember your story with that character named Hakai Sitter? Unknown said, as Zero nodded.
Yeah? What about it?
Zero asked. I have a plan, Unknown said. An hour later, Static facepalmed as to what Unknown's idea was. I can't. The only one who can do that is Natural, Static said as Natural jumped in. But why do we need another person to help us out when we got all the help we need? Natural didn't just give us powers to hide them. He gave it to us because he knows that we have the ability to use them in different ways than any other, Natural said as Unknown nodded his head. Unknown, you above all was able to unlock your own powers by yourself. And here you are, asking for help from a different unreal character. We're taking this bitch down without any help. We got each other. We are the help, Natural said as Zero spoke.
That's a great speech and all, but don't forget about saving Natural and the world from getting destroyed thingy,
Zero said jokingly as Neely smacked him. What if our mom is alive? And she wasn't lying about that? What if she's alive in another universe similar to ours? Neely said as Unknown closed his eyes. Try not to turn away. Then he gasped, and he sees Natural. Unknown, you're different for a reason. An ultimate master doesn't give up on those who look a different way. In the most part, he's right. Come on, Unknown, get up, Natural said as Unknown grabbed his sword. Natural, locate her. We're gonna stop her. Right, Silver? Silver? Unknown confused. He turned around and sees Silver petting Calabasa, not paying attention.
You are so cute,
Silver said, hugging Calabasa as he lays down blankly, enjoying the love. Silver, enjoying yourself, huh? Unknown said, with a smirk. Natural scanned the entire map and seen an icon and gasped, and remembered what Natural said. If I die, this entire world will be gone. I'm not immortal, because life is limited. Even to a creator. You could be the most powerful person and still die in life's hands, Natural said, and Natural flashbacked into reality. Natural's alive! What is your plan, Natural? Natural said, whispering. The morning they arrived back at Zero's place,
A lot has changed since we've last been here. Only to come back here again after everything that's happened. Zero looked down sad as Neely put his hand on Zero's shoulders. Don't worry. We have to step back to move forward. Neely said, smiling. Come on, let's go inside. I'm starving, Zero said, with his tongue sticking out, as Silver covered her mouth. Try not to laugh. Zero, I hope you're talking about food, Silver said as Zero looked at her confused. Of course I'm talking about food, Zero said and looked at Silver with a smile. They went inside except for Unknown. Unknown, on the other hand, looked up in the night sky as the moon showed and the night sky began to be more dark. As Unknown looked down, he heard a voice. Why you look so sad? It said, as Unknown looked around. I know that voice, Unknown said, as blue light shines brightly by Unknown. Why have you all of a sudden appear only with me, your Natural's companion? Go back to him, Unknown said, with his arms crossed, as it chuckled. You're not wrong, but you shouldn't stress about him too much, Blue Light said as he circles around Unknown. After everything that's happened, you're the one we're trapped in the hands of Akuyama. Why can't Natural bring him back? Scrotris back, Unknown said as Blue Light looked at him, but didn't say a word. Blue Light disappears as Unknown grabbed his sword with anger and headed to Purified City Tech. Chapter 4 Alive.
Natural turned around and had seen Angelina as she tries to take over Natural's body. Natural threw her off him. She slashes Natural, and he disintegrated on purpose. A stardust circles around the broken house and fixes the broken pieces. Natural spawns back and falls down tired. I have to stop her. But what can I do? Natural said as a spark of light shined, bright blue, and a blue dragon appeared. You forgot my name and our companion. What have you been up to, Natural? I see you've been destroying things lately, Blue Light said as Natural's eyes widened. Are you the blue dragon I've been looking for? Natural said as he didn't say a word. He nodded his head. Where have you been all these years? Natural said, fascinated. I remember when you were just a little dragon pet. Natural said, somewhat smiling. What? Unknown is going after her. He'll die. We have to find a way to reach him. And quick. Natural said, running to Purified Tech. Static. Static, wake up, Silver said as he slowly opens his eyes. What's wrong? He asked as he looks at Silver, worried, scared. I don't know where Unknown is, and he hasn't came in sight since we've been here, Silver said as Static never saw her frightened before, and he didn't know what to do. I guess being evil kinda kills the vibe of caring for something a person truly cares for. I wish I could help you, but this heart can no longer love or care. I wish I... Static stops himself, then thinks, I'm sure he's fine. Last time I checked, he told me he was going for Angelina solo, Neely said, as Silver yelled drastically. And you didn't try to stop him? Neely, he's your brother, Silver said dramatically. While she put on her shoes and grabbed a sweater, she then began to go and get Unknown. Why is he so reckless? Silver said while running. Roxy, Netro, Calabasa, Vril, and Static, stay here while me and Zero go and find Unknown. Angelina can't know we're alive. Neely said as he and Zero started for Silver and caught up to her. Silver, wait! Zero yelled as she turned around and seen Zero and Neely behind her. Zero? Neely, what are you both doing here? Silver asked as Neely confessed, he's my brother and I'm gonna be there. I know it doesn't make sense, but Angelina can't know we're alive. I've saved Unknown once. I can do it again, Neely said. Angelina made purified city tech into a hell capsule, where everything is Vex technology. Being the one who conquers this weak realm can be very boring, Angelina said, as a stone samurai with a sharp blade came to her. My queen, it appears that you didn't kill those civilians in that house. He shows a hologram and finds out that the 6 remains are still alive. Good. Let them squander. They won't live long enough to see their creator die, she said, as she looked up and seen Unknown with his arms crossed, kicking back, not caring if she's seen him. He stares at her with an evil look as she freaks and yells, How did you survive? And what are you doing in my city? Angelina said as Unknown looked at her, unafraid, and spoke. Your city? Ha! Don't get comfortable for a second. Your fight isn't over. I'm gonna kill every single one of you, 'cause there's a blade with your name on it. Unknown pulled out his sword, waiting for her to pull a fast trick, so he can dash her flow. You know, you're always the easy one to get killed by. You always seem like if you were always at the top of your game. But you're not. You're just a kid trying to break through and forget their own struggle, Angelina said, as the stone samurai pulled out a large blade, as Unknown pulled out a hand cannon and fired 6 shots, and the samurai was dead within seconds, and he has it still pointing to make it noticeable. He then flips the gun and puts it back in his holster, and then he walks with his sword. I see why you kill so fast. Have you been doing this for years? Why is the mask the last thing you want me to see before I die? Angelina kept asking questions until Unknown was fed up with the nonsense. You have no idea on why he is the way he is, someone said, as Unknown's eyes widened, then turned around. You may have looked into my brother's mind, but not all of it. so you can ask questions, or die trying, Neely said, walking up to her, as Silver grabbed Unknown by his wrist and yanked him backwards. You're not evil. Angelina, I've seen you before in this world. Me and you were friends when we were little kids. Do you remember? Neely said, trying to bring back her memory. She looks down and looks at Neely, as Unknown yelled, "This isn't the time to be heartful." She lost. In her brain. She doesn't care whether you know her or not. That person is not the person you once saw when you were little, Unknown said, as Silver, still holding his wrist. I'm not letting you go. I'm sick and tired of you blowing our cover. This wasn't the plan, Silver said, as Zero looked and stared. What now, Zero? Silver said, as Zero spoke. What's happening to her? Zero said, as Unknown and Silver looked at Angelina, as she began to get very angry. I don't know who you are, Neely, but I don't care about who you are. And if your brother thinks he can stop me, then I'll kill the only thing that loves him the most, Angelina said, as Neely heard a wind coming near him as Angelina throws a shock blade. You. I'll kill you. Angelina smiled with an evil expression as Neely seen her throw something sharp. It hits Neely and she disappeared. As a dagger hits Neely in his torso. As blood dripping down, he turned around covered in blood. Silver covers her mouth, terrified, as Unknown's eyes widened. Neely? Neely? Neely! Unknown ran to him before he fell to the ground. Zero, now's the time, Silver said as Zero ran towards Neely to heal him. Zero couldn't heal his wounds. It's not working. My powers, Zero said. Unknown. Is our powers gone? Silver said as Unknown's eyes widened. As Unknown looks down. You can't be. Unknown wiped his cheek and sobbed. Unknown, I'm so sorry, Silver said as Unknown puts his head on her shoulder, hugging her. This is my fault, isn't it? I got my brother killed because of me, Unknown said as Silver spoke. No, don't say that. It's not your fault, Silver said, crying. Which is why only you can save this place, Unknown. Your ancestors chose you. Only you can save everyone. Blue Light said as Silver freaked. Who are you? Tell me now. How can you talk? Silver said as she grabs Unknown's sword. Yeah, are you with Angelina? Did she send you to kill us? Zero said as he got up. Unknown jumped in the way. Guys, stop it! I'm so sorry, Blue Light. This is the dragon that Natural's been looking for. And you might want to put down my sword, Unknown said, as Silver and Zero looked at each other, then looked at Unknown. But that's impossible. Natural said he didn't want to be found, Zero said as Blue Light spoke. If you please, let me help your friend. I can save him, Blue Light said as he went to Neely. Blue Light healed Neely, and he gasped and opened his eyes. Neely, you're back, Unknown said as he hugs him. What happened? Neely said as Zero looked down worried. I believe you died, Zero said as Neely looked at Unknown. Is that true? Neely said as Unknown nodded his head. But then, this mysterious dragon appeared out of nowhere, and it turns out this is the dragon. We thought his name was Parallel Fang, but his real name is Blue Light the Dragon, Silver said as Neely turned his head and seen it. Whoa, maybe it can help us. Neely got up fascinated. Chapter 5. What Fate Depends on. Roxy pouts and let out a heavy breath of irritation and frustration. They should have been back by now, Roxy said furious, walking back and forth. Cool it, Roxy. It's just nerves that's getting you all worked up, Netro said as while fixing his mic. Netro, guys, how are you not worried? They could be captured by her, Roxy said as flames built up on her. Verlin gets up. The ground quakes as everything began to shake. Whoa, what's going on? Netro said as Static tries to hold on to something. Roxy runs outside and sees the ground split in half, damaging and wrecking the buildings as she sees Purified City Tech clear. Please, guys, hurry, as fast as you guys can, Roxy said as Calabasa gets a vision. Unknown, I hope you know what you're doing, Calabasa said. Natural keeps running to the city. This is just like Zero's story, but way worse, as if it was mocking his story. I have to find a way to reach. Natural ran as he heard a missile coming directly at him unexpectedly. He quickly jumped up and punched the missile, disintegrating it, and kept running. Angelina had seen him completely erase the missile from existence. She'd smiled. I thought I killed you, thinking I would have gone all this way to find a creator in his own story. What a complete fool. I will take over or destroy this place. And this time, I won't fail to kill you. Natural SFM Studios, Angelina said, while she uses a summon spell and created an amount of rifts and demons and such as other creatures were crossing through the world. Black shards of evil came rushing from the ground, rising like a virus. The black shards came rushing out as Unknown jumps back. Whoa, what the heck is that? Unknown looks at Blue Light. Did Blue Light made an accident or something? Silver said as it rolled his eyes. Me? Since when? Blue Light said as Neely pets him. They're just joking. Guys really need to take this seriously, Neely said as Zero looks at it. It doesn't look like, Never mind. Zero backs away as Unknown tried touching the black shard. Wait! Don't touch it! Get away from it, Unknown! Natural said as he punches it and it disintegrated. Natural! You're alive, and look who's here, Silver said as Natural looks at the dragon. I know. I sent blue light after you guys, right when Unknown tried doing something right. Natural nodded his head. That isn't... Oh, okay. That isn't dragon crap, in case you're wondering. I feel awkward just saying that. That is an evil shard, like an egg, and right now it will crack, and a creature will come out. Now we need to go. Natural pulled Unknown away as another one came rushing up from the ground. The black shard started to crack open as a demon with horns and wings came out of it. It was an ancient demon from history itself. No way! Blue light, go! Now! Natural said as blue light burst through the wall and flew out. Unknown was gonna jump but stopped himself. Wait, we're in a high floor? Unknown said as Silver looked at Natural while he struggles to defeat the demon. Neely runs and does a double shot kick, hitting the demon as Unknown pulls out his hand cannon and shot one fire and killed it. Silver and Zero surprised. You have a gun? Silver and Zero yelled, while Unknown turns around and sees platforms. I'm gonna say this now. Give up, or I'll kill every single one of you. Angelina uses another spell and ties up Silver, Natural, Zero, and Neely. Unknown dodges her powers and wasn't caught, and Unknown ran to the platforms. Unknown, you have to stop her. The world depends on it. Natural said as Unknown kept running. Rival blessings. Now, Angelina yelled as another demon came flying in on Unknown. Unexpectedly, he slashed Unknown, getting knocked off his feet, falling down. Unknown! Silver yelled as Unknown tries to reach onto the platform, but his hand slipped, falling straight down. Unknown kept moving his arms. Paranoid, Unknown uses his sword to slow down from falling. Unknown reached the end of the building. There was nothing to hold on to. His mask slipped off as the wind flew it off into the sky as he tries to grab it. But the wind had blew it right off before he could even reach his mask. Unknown falling on his back, closing his eyes, not caring anymore, as if the speed of the wind kept rushing, pushing up the speed faster and faster. I believe in you, Unknown, Silver said, as Unknown flashed back into reality, and he fiercely yelled, and he threw his sword. He seized the ground, about to be full speed slammed into it. Unknown punched the ground, and the ground cracked, fully making the kinetic energy unable to harm Unknown, or cause death, or broken bones. Blue electronic swavers all around Unknown. His eye turned red, and he fast teleported to the platform as he uses dark blades and cuts the rope between Natural, Neely, and Silver. Unknown. What's gotten into Unknown? Silver didn't know what to do. She wanted to help, but this was Unknown's fight. A little help here? Zero said as Natural breaks the rope. Unknown and Angelina, face to face, began to fight. What's happening to Unknown? Neely said, as Unknown striked with evil power directly at Angelina. What? Impossible. He's evil. But how? Angelina said, as the demon came rushing at Unknown. He then uses a fast duel and pulled out his hand cannon and throws a blade directly at Angelina. Forcefully, she became evil and uses a dark force field all around Unknown. He looks around, nothing but darkness all around him, as she tries to kill him with black shards. They came rushing from the ground as Unknown's right eye began to glow red. His aura blasts the dark force field away. Angelina punched Unknown and he flew, almost falling off the platform again. Silver uses a Void Blast, an 8 combo hit, and she was able to defend Unknown. If we're gonna defend this world, then I'm not gonna stand around and do nothing, Silver said, watching Angelina. Angelina laughs, and she looks at Silver. I'm very fed up with very little things, and you are not worthy to face me. Angelina said unexpectedly. She came rushing at her fast. Neely jumped in the way and uses a lightning dash. He pushes Angelina, keeping her away. If there's one thing you should know, don't underestimate me. Don't outplay the one who can outright you mindly. Natural SFM Studios said, and uses his narration power, and he punches her back into her dimension, and everything was restored back to the way it was. Weeks later, Verlin became a member with them. Thank you, Verlin, for saving my friends. I owe you one, Natural said, smiling. No, it's cool. You don't need to owe me nothing. Besides, I didn't even know what's going on, Verlin said softly. Yeah, but I admire your help. Thank you, Natural said. Chapter 6 Secrets Revealed. It's been 2 months. Silver, Neely, and Zero still go to school to finish up the best of what they can achieve, other than trying to fight crime. Unknown was looking through files from Natural's folder. What are you looking for? Natural said, as Unknown stopped and turned around. Natural, I know you're mad at me for not asking, but... Unknown paused as Natural spoke. I know, Unknown, you want answers from me about your mother, isn't it? Natural said, as Unknown turned away as Natural looked down and punched the wall, angry. Unknown, what do you want from me? Natural said, as Unknown turned around. All I want is the truth, Unknown said, as Natural spoke back in a more aggressive voice. Unknown, you can't keep trying to figure me out and keep trying to see me as the bad guy without knowing the story, Natural said, exasperated. It was silent for a moment. All I want is to find out what happened to her, Unknown said. As if he talked any further, he would start crying. Look, it was 15 years ago, when I was born into a world over my imagination. And no, I wasn't given powers just like that. I had to figure out myself through experience, and I struggled, felt left out, never liked rules or wanted to obey them. But they told me if I don't change myself over time, it will be worse than a failure. And they were right. I wasn't given the power to narrate. I learned it. Or acknowledging the fact, the fact that I had to learn through people around me. But the thing is, I never wanted to be a creator. Just a character beside them. Natural said, puzzled, trying to explain everything. I understand your situation. 'Cause I lost my mother when I was 7. I experienced what a family is like, 'cause I'm from the real world. And here, I'm still coping for the hope of good. Natural said, and he sobs. What was her name? Unknown said, lonely as if he was trying to understand. Sylvia. And I know it's a beautiful name. I had to cope without a mother. I still had a father, but things went downhill, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm just sharing details of what I've been through. It's why I know how you feel. Natural said, as he gave a friendly hug to Unknown. Let me help you find her file, okay? Natural said, relieved. An hour later, Natural and Unknown were exhausted and couldn't find any records of his mother's past. This doesn't make any sense. Her file was here, Natural said, looking through the files as Neely walked into the storage room and seeing Natural and Unknown. Looking through paperwork and other things. What are you guys doing? Neely said, innocent, trying to be sneaky. We've been trying to look for our mother's record of her past before we were born, but no records of her were found, Unknown said, as Natural looked through the file in ABC order, but still nothing. Aesthetic was hidden behind them as he looks at the file and walks away. If Unknown sees what I've done to his mother, he would kill me, for sure, Static said, and hides it. Guys, I'm home. And turn on the cooler. It's burning up in here, Silver said as she walks in the kitchen and sees dishes. How many times do I have to tell you guys not to leave the dishes in the sink? Silver yells as she dramatically cleans them all. Natural and Unknown walk through the living room and sits down. It's very frustrating not being able. Unknown falls down as Silver threw a mug at his face. You know what else is frustrating? Me having to come home from school doing 6 assessments for 4 essays and 9 tests, knowing that I studied very hard to find out I passed, and having to come home in this hot weather to find out my reward is cleaning dishes, Silver said, breathing, angry as Zero comes out. I thought you failed all of them. Zero laughed as Silver throws another bug and it hit Zero in the face, making him fall down.
And I thought you fell to keep your mouth shut, you broken toast,
Silver said, dramatically as Natural looks at Unknown and Zero.
Ouch, that really hurt, Silver,
Unknown said, rubbing his head as Natural looked straight at Silver.
What are you looking at, Natural?
Silver said as Natural backed up.
Oh, nothing.
Natural said as nervous smirk as Roxy barged into the house, gasping for air as Silver and Natural looked at her, surprised.
What are we gonna do? Natural. There were those guys that were from Sylvain Plaza, and they were looking for you,
Roxy said, as Natural confused, as Silver walked to her worried.
Roxy, take a deep breath and sit on the couch, okay? I'll get you some water.
Silver hurried to the kitchen. Unknown and Neely were cautious about these people and wanted to keep their guard up. Roxy, who are those guys that you mentioned? Unknown said, sitting down while he kicks back, sleeping.
Unknown. Unknown,
Roxy said, as Natural looked at Unknown, sleeping. I guess all that work made him sleepy, I guess, Natural said, confused, as Silver surprised.
He looks so peaceful when he's asleep,
Silver said, smiling while Unknown blushed and peeked at Silver. I could still hear you guys, and haven't been able to get any sleep. I've been searching all night for my mother's file, Unknown said, yawning, as Silver smacked Unknown and he fell off the couch.
Ouch, that hurt,
Unknown said, rubbing his cheek, as Silver looks at him, mad.
So it was you who drank all of my energy drinks,
Silver said, then looked around, as Natural looked at Silver.
Oh, when I asked Unknown who those drinks were, I didn't expect it to be yours.
Natural laughed, as Roxy yelled,
Guys, this is serious. These guys from the government, and they would do anything to get to things from other things,
Roxy said, as Natural looked at her, serious. Take care of it, Roxy and Netro. Make sure they don't track down where we are, or place a hitman to do it for them, Natural said, as he gave a taboo index feature. Chapter 7 InsticWalker 23. Lily. Roxy and Netra broke into their facility and placed a hardware that fried up their software and equipment. As stealthy as they are, they were able to break through their defenses and were sneaky. What are you talking about? Natural said, confused. Netro zoomed in and seen the guys talking and seen static. He had the file that read InsticWalker 23.Lily. So you're saying he stole my mother's file and took it to a lab? Unknown said, as Galabasa nodded his head while Netro ended the display of the footage. Me and Neely have to find out what happened to our mother, Unknown said, as Netro slammed his fist. How did Static get himself involved into this? Someone must have set him up, Galabasa said, as he worried of what happens next, as it fears him worse than worse. No, he didn't drag himself into this, he probably had stolen it, 'cause he knew Unknown would try to find what happened to his mother's past. And he doesn't want you to know what he had done to her. Natural said, in a serious face, as Unknown's eyes widened. What did he do to her? Unknown said, as Natural stayed quiet, as Unknown began to yell. Tell me, what did he do to her? Unknown freaked dramatically and angered as Neely walked in. What's going on? Neely grabbed a cup of coffee. Static killed our mother, Unknown said, as Neely's eyes widened, as he looked at Natural. Natural, is he lying? Neely said, as Natural began to speak. I was blacked out when it had all happened. I tried to save her, but I was too late, Natural said, as Unknown turned away. Neely, let's go. We're gonna confront her. Confront Static. For one final time. Natural, you did all you could. So I forgive you. Roxy, Natural, what else are they planning? Unknown said as Natural looked at Natural, then looked at Unknown. If we're gonna do this, we're doing it together. 'Cause Static is being set it up. Natural and the others went out the door, and Natural followed, while Silver spoke. Verlin will be able to help us out. He's out of town. Silver hugged Natural. It's fine. It's fine. I don't blame you and what Unknown are going through. If it were me, I would do the same to find answers, Silver said, while Natural nodded. But that's the thing. I don't know what happened to her. I was blacked out, Natural said, while Silver understood. It's okay. No worries, Silver said, as Natural broke through the facility, and scientists started to panic and fear. A person looks in the camera and sees them breaking into the facility. So I was right. He is here, the guy said, as he turns around to Static. Go do your job, Static. They already suspect you to be the bad guy, it said, as Static nods. As you wish. Okay, sitter, Static said, being controlled by a fictional character. Zero and Neely looked around. It's a lab. I always hated biology, Neely said, as Unknown tapped his shoulder. Oh, ghost is clear, Zero said, as Silver silently laughed. You do know that's not how you say it, Silver said, as she laughed while following. I know, but it sounds better. Zero laughed, as he bumped Unknown, as he sees Static. Static! Why didn't you have the courage to tell me? Unknown yelled, as Unknown walked to him. Kalabasa freaked. Netro, Roxy, make sure Static doesn't pull any ambush, Kalabasa said, as Netro quietly moved to the right. As Silver silently broke into an air vent. This feels like deja vu, for some reason, Silver said, as she climbs in. I don't know what you're talking about, Unknown. I didn't kill your mother. I was trying to protect her from myself, as Lex Vita was trying to take over. he said as Static fast-dragged his sword and had Static on the ground. Tell me the truth, Unknown said, angry as and ready to jab the blade into his chest. Neely uses an electrical waves to make sure he doesn't move. It's funny, you blame me for Natural's bravery. Neely was there and seen it all. Static said as Unknown turned around. Neely, you knew about it? Unknown puts his sword away as Neely began to get nervous. I was 7 when me and my mom were walking to the park, and suddenly the clouds turned black and dark purple rain began to pour drastically, and all I seen was Static being consumed by darkness. He told me to run, but I just stood there as a dark beam almost hitting me. Natural jumps in the way out of nowhere, taking the hit, but the beam went through Natural, and Mother was hit by it, and all I heard was Static saying no, and that's all I could remember, Neely said, crying. Koziatsi, I miss her, and it was my fault, Neely said as he sobs. As Kalabasa yelled, Guys, get out of there quick! That entire facility has been rigged to blow by someone named Hoki Sira. Kalabasa yelled as Natural turned around and seen no face, X eyes, and a stitched up mouth. I wasn't able to save your mother, but I will save all of you. Continue on without me, Natural said as Unknown tried to grab Natural. No! Natural! Unknown said as Natural teleported all of them out, and the facility exploded. The explosion caused them to flew backwards as Unknown looked around as Natural was nowhere to be seen. Natural! Unknown yelled, worried, as the smoke was in the air, and the facility burning in flames. Firefighters, police cars began to come. Neely and the others looked at the burning flames from the facility. Natural opened up his tracker to find Natural's icon on the map, but he wasn't there. His eyes widened, and he hugged Roxy. He's gone. He's really gone, Netro said, crying as Kalabasa looked up at the sky. He didn't want Hoke Sura to be another problem, so he sacrificed himself, Kalabasa said, crying as Unknown cried. Natural, come back. You didn't have to do that. Unknown sobs as Silver, crying as well. Unknown, come here, please. Silver gave Unknown a big hug as they all looked at Natural's grave. What do we do now? There's no way we can continue on. Not without Natural, Neely said as Silver spoke. Right now, that's what he wants us to do. Move on. He died a hero's death. So we thank him for that. And we thank him for everything, Silver cried as she looked up while Unknown hugged her.
He will always be in our hearts and looking down from above. We will miss you. Natural SFM Studios.
Silver looks up, and a bright star shines brightly over the town. Natural died, but the world didn't. 'Cause blue light is back, Unknown said, as Zero looks up deeply into the night sky, crying.
Legends never die, Natural.
Zero yelled, crying and sobbing as Roxy rubs Zero's back.
I know. We will all miss him very much,
Roxy said, sobbing as Unknown laughed. How about that energy drink? Unknown laughed as Silver frowned.
Seriously, if you're trying to piss me off,
Silver said, annoyed as the others laughed.
What? It was funny.
Unknown smiled and kept laughing. As someone spoke, out of nowhere, unexpectedly, Natural shows up and almost laughing.
What are you all laughing about?
Natural said, as Unknown and the others turned around and see Natural.
Huh? Natural!
They yelled as he smiled. This is Static Void InsticWalker, and I hope you've enjoyed this entire journey together. This is the end of my lonely road. Thank you for sticking with me till the very end.